Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Eric with Sweet Spot DFS going over a first look of the DraftKings salaries for the 2025 Masters Tournament. Basically, all I'm going to be doing is running down the board, looking at every golfer at their price tag, and basically determining if they're worth the value or not. And then I'm going to theory craft some of the lineup building strategies that we can deploy with this first look. Obviously, throughout the week, we're going to do more research. We're going to figure out better plays and go from there. But for this first look, why not? Why not theory craft? So I wanted to do this, but I should say more importantly, I wanted to do this because I want to kick off the giveaway that I'm doing this week. So I have a Win the Pot Masters giveaway. It starts at $20, and for every one new subscriber that comes to this channel, I'm going to add $2 to the pot. So really, it's up to you how big you want this pot to be. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do so, because we're just going to keep adding to that pot, and there is no limit. So if we can get 200 subscribers to the channel, I'm going to add $400. Simple enough. So there's no limit. Get more people to this channel. I will help you for helping me. And if you want an entry into this giveaway, all you need to do is comment on each of the videos pertaining to the 2025 Masters that I put out this week. Now, here's a hint. I'm going to be doing a video every day leading up to the Masters. I don't know if I'm going to do one for Wednesday, but I will be doing a live stream Wednesday night for my YouTube members. We'll see. We'll see. But for sure, I'll have a video out Thursday, the week before the Masters, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday I'm going live, and that's where I'll be doing the giveaway. So join me at 7 p.m. on April 8th, that Tuesday, for this Win the Pot giveaway. And again, for you to get an entry, just comment on all the YouTube videos that I'll be posting throughout this week that pertain to the Masters, and also share. If you share any of my videos on any of the social media platforms, now I am active on X, formerly known as Twitter, but if you share anywhere else, just point me to it and I'll get you credit for it. Because I'm not very active on Instagram, and I really don't know any of the other social media platforms out there. But if you go ahead and you share it there, just let me know. I'll go check it out and I'll get you an entry as long as I can figure out who you are. So that is as simple as that. That's how you get entries into this giveaway. So you could have, put it this way. If I have 7 days, 7 videos out there for the Masters, and you comment on every one of those videos, you have 7 entries into this giveaway. If you share those videos on the social media platforms, I'm giving you an additional entry. So you can have up to 7 more entries. You can have 14 entries into this giveaway. And hopefully all that does is it encourages more people to come over and subscribe. So again, it's my way of helping you for helping me. And also, this goes into a bigger giveaway. Once this channel reaches 1,000 subscribers, I'm giving away $1,000 worth of giveaways. Now, 2 of those giveaways are in the forms of a membership to sweetspotdfs.com. One is a lifetime, that's a $600 value. One's an annual, that's a $200 value. But I'm also giving away 2 $100 cash giveaways. So in case you're just like, oh, I don't really care about the membership stuff, I'm never going to use one of these websites. It's like, well, you can still win $100. So in order to get into this entry, all you need to do is create an account on sweetspotdfs.com. There's a link in the description of this video. Check it out. The sign up is free. I don't even ask for a credit card or anything. I just need a name and an email address, and that's it. So go create an account on sweetspotdfs.com. You'll get yourself an entry into this giveaway, and once we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away $1,000 worth of giveaways. So they both go hand in hand, the Masters giveaway as well as the sweetspotdfs.com giveaway. And that's all I have to tell you guys about the giveaways. Again, I wanted to kick off the Masters giveaway because I want you guys to get as many entries as you possibly can. Let's talk about the salary board. Scottie Scheffler is at the top of this salary board. Now, before the week or before the salaries came out, I was kind of theorizing or trying to speculate what his price tag was going to be. In the past, he's been about $13,000 and above. And I knew if he was $13,000 and above, I was just not going to play him in any of my lineups. I'm really concerned about Scottie Scheffler's misses to the left off the tee. When he has driver in hand, and sometimes when he has 3-wood in hand, he misses left, like really bad. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with his hand injury that he's recovering from or what he was recovering from during the beginning of the year. If you are unaware of that, Scottie Scheffler was rolling dough with a wine glass of all things. And the wine glass broke basically where the stem connects to the cup, and it stabbed him in the hand. So he took a little break from golf, but I don't know if that just messes with his grip. He's been missing to the left a lot lately. At the Houston Open, which most of you guys are going to see, especially if we drill down on his name here, you're going to see in his game log, he finished second place at the Houston Open. Minwoo Lee won the event. Minwoo Lee hitting some of the most erratic drives you would see a winner do at a golf tournament. And erratic meaning he sniped shots left, or he hit the ball so far left, he hit the ball so far right into the tree areas, and he just punched out and made par. I don't think you get that type of forgiveness at Augusta. Now I'm talking about Minwoo, not Scottie, but I'm going to relate this because Scottie played well at Houston, Minwoo played well at Houston. And if they are that erratic off the tee, because I did see Scheffler snipe some shots to the left, and snipe means like hard hooks or, pull hooks or pull draws or whatever, basically missing his target by several yards. That's what concerns me about Scottie Scheffler. Now, am I trying to convince you not to play Scheffler? No, of course not. $12,400 is a very friendly price tag for Scottie Scheffler. So if you want to play Scottie Scheffler, I got no issue. I will be playing Scottie Scheffler because at 13,000, if he was 13,000 and above, that's where my real concerns with him not keeping the ball in play make me not want to play him. But at 12,400, I mean, I think my favorite combo is to put Scheffler with JT together, Justin Thomas. I really think it's Justin Thomas's week. Or it's just been his season. He's quietly gaining, like, what's the word I want to use? There's a storm brewing with Justin Thomas. He's going to go nuclear pretty soon. I feel really good about Justin Thomas at the Masters, and I'll talk more about him here shortly. But so, okay, now we have 7,000 remaining. That's cool. I wouldn't mind coming down here to the 6K range and picking one of these 6K golfers. I know there's a sentiment about lefties like Joe Highsmith, like just lefties playing well at Augusta. Here's the thing. If you're a lefty who hits a cut, that's better. Like Phil Mickelson, he hit a cut. I think Mike Weir was more of a draw golfer, but all your lefties that do well know how to hit a cut at Augusta, and Joe Highsmith knows how to hit a cut. So I don't mind playing someone like Highsmith. It gives us a little flexibility when it comes to how much salary we have left. I don't mind coming up here to some of these other 6K golfers. I'd really have to deep dive some of them to feel comfortable. I mean, Aaron Rai just seems like a no-brainer. He hits a cut, but he's a right-hand golfer. It's fine. I'll have to do some more deep diving, but I'm kind of comfortable going this route. And then I probably want some kind of veteran in my lineup. So let's say Sergio or Adam Scott. Sungjae Im is down here, by the way, 7,300, but I kind of want to get access to the 8K range. So I'm going to have to get one of these lower price guys. Keegan Bradley seems like a good play, and I can't get to the 8K range. So that actually creates a little bit of a challenge right away. I don't like this. I don't like doing a 10-9, 2-7s, 2-6s. We rarely see that work out in a lot of contests. And if you didn't know, I keep track of this kind of stuff at sweetspotdfs.com with pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. So I don't know. I really don't see anyone down here that I'm excited to play. I will be staying away from VJ, Bernard Langer, Angel Cabrera. Do not care about playing any of those guys. I'll also be staying away from Bubba Watson. Danny Willett. You know what? I'm going to put Danny Willett in a lineup, I think. Maybe I take out Aaron Rai. That gets me to 85. Okay. I would much rather do 10-9-8, 7-6-6 than anything. And this gives me access to Minwoo, which I have no problem doing. Gives me access to Henley, gives me access to Zalatoris, Cam Smith. Yeah, I like this. Doing something like this, I like quite a bit. It is worth noting I had $7,900 remaining when I don't remember what golfer I just had in here, but I could have went up to Corey Connors, which I think is also a good play. But I think the the most popular play is going to be Akshay Bhatia. I have no issue going to like Will Zalatoris, but if we put Bhatia in, now I kind of want to upgrade from Keegan Bradley. That was just kind of a throw in there type of pick. I don't care like personality wise for Pat Reed, but he's kind of a dog, and I do not mind playing Patrick Reed at the Masters. So I just have more access to these golfers now, which actually, kind of excites me. I do like that. I'm also not afraid to play Sam Burns. So I guess if we put the best value in there, it's going to be Sungjae Im, I think. And I'm actually okay with this type of lineup. I also could go what I originally had in there with Keegan Bradley. Let's just put in like Daniel Berger, because I do want access to these $7,100 golfers. But let's take out Highsmith and take a look at our $6,600 and below. Glover, despite him not playing really well at the Masters, he's a veteran that I don't mind playing. Chris Kirk, does he have any like good finishes? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at his course history to see how comfortable I am playing Chris Kirk. But there's some other guys down here, like Harris English, I don't mind. Denny McCarthy, I don't mind. I will not be playing Max Homa. He is broken. Even if he plays well at the Valero Texas Open, which the tournament hasn't even started yet, so I couldn't even tell you how well he's playing currently. I'm just going to stay away. I kind of like the idea of playing Echeverria also. The guy can go nuclear at times. I always joke and say you don't want to play him where water is around, like the Cognizant and the Players Championship. Those all kind of came to fruition. You do not want to play him when there's a lot of water around, but he does have the ability to score pretty well when he does make the cut. Tom Hoge. Let's just put Tom Hoge in. I'd be very comfortable playing a lineup like this. I have access to a couple more golfers, and that's fine. This is one lineup. I don't mean to, go into every type of lineup build, but I just wanted to see Scheffler and Thomas together and kind of go from there. So I'm going to clear that out. Let's go back up to the top. So I guess my whole thought process here is Scottie Scheffler's not a bad play. You do have to get a little risky going down to the 6K range. And if you have never been to this channel before, I try to encourage you guys to use more 6K golfers. Remember never to fall in love with a 6K golfer, but never disrespect one, because everybody that's on tour is there because they're a winner. Winners know how to win. Now, obviously, there are elite golfers in the field, and they're going to reign supreme, but each of these golfers is good enough to be on the PGA Tour, meaning they're good enough to win. So, with that being said, yeah, play Scheffler at your own risk. Now, if you add Rory McIlroy, if you are trying to decide between Scheffler and McIlroy, you just saw me go through a very difficult time trying to build lineups with Scheffler and Justin Thomas. Rory is $1,300 cheaper than Scheffler. And obviously it's well documented that Rory McIlroy has had his issues at Augusta. But again, if I'm going to make the argument that every golfer on the PGA Tour is good enough to win on the PGA Tour, I'm going to say past major champions are good enough to win other major championships. So like, I know Rory kind of has a little bit of a ghost here at Augusta that haunts him, but you kind of have to be a goldfish when it comes to playing PGA DFS. And starting with Rory McIlroy just gives you more access to golfers. Like if I just do this, with Scottie, I had $7,000 remaining. I kind of don't have to touch the 6K range, or even if I wanted to, let's just go down to Willett and just say we like Danny Willett. I'm now at $7,700. And if we wanted to include, say Daniel Berger, like we did in the last one, now I have $8,000 left. I could reach one of these top 8K golfers, which I do like Patrick Cantlay. If you watch the Valero Texas Open videos, you will find out that I do like Patrick Cantlay quite a bit there. So who knows? Maybe I can be a modern day Nostradamus and call my shot and say Cantlay is going to win the Valero Texas Open. We'll see. But also I could go like with Minwoo and have $7,500 left. And I guess that just gives me access to DJ and Tom Kim. Whereas before I kind of had, access to these other 7Ks with Scottie Scheffler. But maybe I don't like that. Maybe I want to go Connors and Bhatia. I think this is probably going to be one of the most popular builds. Maybe not with Danny Willett, but I think Bhatia and Connors is going to get a lot of ownership, and you're going to hear that throughout the week. But yeah, Rory JT, I kind of like that. Anyways, I will be doing more like theory crafting with lineups during my Tuesday video that will be live, where I'm going to do the giveaway. So you'll see more lineup builds there, like theorizing, what lineups would work best. Now, let's kind of go through some of these other golfers somewhat quickly. I don't want this video to be super long, but I do want to provide as much information and first looks as possible. Ludvig at 10,800 is exactly where he should be. Ludvig, if his driver is on, that guy, he's a machine. I don't really trust his short game as much as I do the rest of the golfers up here, including Morikawa. I know Morikawa gets a bad rap for having, a poor short game, but honestly, I think Collin Morikawa's short game's good. Ludvig's isn't terrible, but I just don't think he has the creativity as everyone else. And I don't care what the sheet data says. Again, sheet data is websites that have strokes gain stats on them. I don't care. I'll make an argument. If you want to come in here and tell me I'm wrong, I'm well prepared to make that argument back. But yeah, I think Aberg at his price is fair. And if you don't think Scheffler or McIlroy, not Morikawa, but Scheffler or McIlroy are going to win the tournament, Ludvig is a great person to put in there. Same goes with Collin Morikawa. He's kind of had his issues with the media. He kind of has a little bit of drama that's following him right now. But I think he's going to be able to drown that out and play pretty decently at the Masters. He finished, did he finish second at the Masters last year? I know he was in the last group with Scottie. I just don't remember exactly what he did. But if you just look at his previous finishes, this is pretty good. Pretty good. And at 10,500, that also gives you a lot of flexibility to build more lineups. Now, is $600 that much of a gap between him and McIlroy to build better lineups? I don't think so. I really don't think so. $600, like you saw me go McIlroy down to Danny Willett and then fill in the rest with certain, decent golfers. All that I think Morikawa is going to do is build those same lineups, but instead of going down to Danny Willett at $6,200, and I'm just using Danny Willett, by the way, as just my lowest price guy that I'm comfortable playing. That's it. It could be Matt McCarty or Joe Highsmith at $6,300. It's just $100 more than Willett. So you do with that as you want. But you could go from a $6,200 Willett, and you have $600 to play with. So we can go all the way up here to $6,800 and play any of these guys, like say Aaron Rai. Aaron Rai seems decent. Michael Kim, who's been on a heater, seems okay. Benny Ans has been a well-renowned ball striker, obviously terrible with putting, but you could play him. I mean, you have much more options starting with, you have more options starting with Morikawa versus McIlroy, but I just don't think it's as quality as you would want to make that difference between the two price tags. Jon Rahm at 10.4 is interesting because I don't watch any live golf. I really don't. I still think of him as, one of the best talents in the world. Anytime you hear any of the greats in the golf realms They say Jon Rahm is one of the best players in the world, even to this day. And it's like, it's hard to disagree. Now, why isn't he just winning every event at LIV if he's one of the best golfers in the world? I mean, pro golfers, I'll continue to say this. Actually, I'll make an argument. It's a Scottie Scheffler argument. Scottie's A game is better than anyone else's A game. I don't even care if Rory McIlroy scorches earth. I don't care if Jon Rahm scorches earth. Scheffler's A game is way better, is so much better than any other golfer in the world right now. I don't think we've even seen, well, we've seen his A game at Augusta, but we don't see his A game all that often. We see his B game a lot. And I know that's high praise. Well, you might not even know who I am, but it's like the argument that Scottie isn't Tiger, I understand that. I'm never going to make that argument that Scottie is Tiger. You want to know what I'm going to say instead? Scottie is Scottie. And I don't know exactly what that's going to mean in the future. But man, everything that I see with Scottie Scheffler, I like more. I'm trying to think this through. I'm not sure if I'm going to eat my words here, but I like more than Tiger's game. Like Tiger had raw power before they pushed the golf courses back. And then he had the best creativity around the greens. Like you could say he has, you know, the most horsepower. Let's put it that way. To like scorch earth. Scottie Scheffler is just so consistent, so stable. And just his fundamentals better than Tiger's. They're better than Tiger's ever were. I know that sounds weird, but I mean, I would take 97, 98 Tiger before he went to Hank Haney any day because that golf swing was beautiful. But I'm such a huge fan of Scottie Scheffler's golf game that it's I put him up there. And I'm not even comparing him to Tiger. I understand that that's what's going on in the world and kind of what I've been saying, but I just think Scottie's Scottie. And Scottie will be Scottie when the history books write his name. He's Scottie. He's not Jack. He's not Arnold. He's not Tiger. He'll be his own dude. He'll be his own dude at the top. He'll be Scottie Scheffler. Anyways, going back to Jon Rahm. I know that was kind of a little side note, but that's kind of what I want this video to sort of be. A little bit of entertainment, a little bit of hot takes. But coming back to Jon Rahm, and I don't even know how to circle back because I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, I do actually. Everyone else's A game. So let me circle back to before I started talking about Scottie Scheffler. Why isn't Rahm winning all of his LIV events if he's such a good golfer? Well, when you have Joaquin Niemann playing the best golf of his life, I think most golfers' A games can beat other golfers' B games. And if Rahm isn't putting his A game to the test, he's going to get beat out by other golfers that have their A game. You're never going to see a Peter Malnati take down Scottie Scheffler at a major championship. You'll never see Peter Malnati beat Justin Thomas at a major championship, but you might at the Valspar Championship. You might at a lesser event that some of these really good golfers aren't bringing their A game because maybe they don't care to. Maybe they're tune-ups. I don't know what to talk about with Jon Rahm because LIV, it just feels like, and I know a lot of people say this in the industry, it's like, where's the incentive to really, finishing first? Like he got a $200 million contract or something like that? 400? No, I think it was 200. $200 million contract to play on LIV. And each tournament, I think they win either $2 million or $4 million for finishing first. So yeah, that's good money. Obviously, that's good money. But what I'm trying to get at is Rahm at a major championship, I feel like for a golfer of his caliber, he can turn it up during the majors. And I've got no issue with playing Jon Rahm. I'm just not going to play him more than I'm going to play Scottie Scheffler. I'm not going to play him more than I'll play Collin Morikawa. I'm not going to play him more than Oberg or even McIlroy. But he will be in the same ownership bracket for me for exposure than the top guys. So I do like Rahm. I don't like his price tag at 10-4. I kind of was saying to a buddy, if he was in the 9K range, I actually might consider Scheffler Rahm lineups. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough, man. It is tough. But let's move on. Bryson is next. I don't care for him at the Masters for the same reasons that everybody else is not going to care for him at the Masters. I play the one length irons. For what everyone says about one length irons not giving you proper feel around the green and stuff like that, that's bullshit. Sorry for swearing for those that don't like swearing, but that's BS. That's you just not playing longer clubs. You don't know. Now, Bryson isn't as tall as me. I'm 6'4", but having a longer wedge in my hand makes me feel more comfortable and grounded with the earth than trying to bend over more because I need to play a standard length wedge. I don't have as much creativity with a shorter wedge. I need a longer wedge. So I don't buy the whole he's bad with his short game around the green because he's got one length irons. I'll say he's bad around the green because he doesn't have any creativity. That's what I see. Like the guy has like two types of chip shots, a bump and run and kind of a pitch. Have you ever seen him on his YouTube channel try to hit flop shots? It's bad. He's just not that good when it comes to wedge. Even wedge, his wedges from 60 to 100 yards or 60 to 80 yards for sure, just awful, downright awful. He was at his best when he was bombing the ball. He still hits the ball far, but obviously he found that balance point of, the law of diminishing returns. The harder he swung, the more it went offline, and that offline basically caused too much lost strokes or scoring opportunities. So he had to dial it back to have more accuracy. So there's a law of diminishing returns trying to hit the ball too far, but that's where I would say he was at his best. Again, I think for me, if I was to put an exposure limit on Bryson DeChambeau, it's probably going to be no more than 8% of my lineups are going to have Bryson in them. 7% maybe. I really don't want Bryson in my lineups. Unlike Xander. Now, I was kind of building some Scottie Scheffler, Justin Thomas lineups. Xander's right there too, man. I really like Xander this week, and he came back from his injury pretty rusty. He had this big break between the Century and the Arnold Palmer. You can see the dates, 01 to 3.6, or 1-2, I should say, to 3.6. That's a bit of a break. But even at the Players Championship where he finished 72nd, that's because he had this terrible weekend. These rounds right here were actually pretty good. And if you went back and watched them, you'd be pretty impressed for someone who's been kind of, he had one event during or prior to that tournament after his return. So that's pretty good. And then you see him at the Valspar. He was in it. Again, a very bad Saturday like he did at the Players. You got to give a little bit of forgiveness to those that are a bit rusty. But yeah, I don't mind going to Xander. Xander's a great play. JT. To speak more about JT, I said a little bit earlier when I was pairing him up with Scottie Scheffler. A lot of these tournaments, like this Players Championship, he went 78. He looked like he was for sure going to miss the cut. Then he shoots a 62. And then pretty lackluster Saturday, Sunday rounds. That's fine. It's more of the eyeball test than it is looking at his results. Like, yeah, he got second at the American Express. He got 6th at the WM Phoenix Open, 9th at the Genesis Invitational, which was played at Torrey, which I wouldn't have considered to be a good fit for him. And then he went to Valspar, and this Justin Thomas here looked in control. Now, he did come down the final round, just to recap that. Viktor Hovland won the Valspar Championship. He won because Viktor Hovland birdied 3 of his last 4 holes, whereas Justin Thomas went 1 or 2 over. I can't remember what it was. There was a bad decision he made on hole 16 or something like that. That Justin Thomas, that is, and it led to a bogey. And then he also bogeyed 18, so actually it was +2 in his last 4 holes. I'm willing to forgive that because what I saw prior to that was pretty good. And I think he hit driver off of 16, and that's what caused an issue with that hole, which probably should have just hit an iron. But I'm actually going to commend him for hitting a driver. You hit the club you're most comfortable with. How often do you see someone lay up on a hole only to find the trouble? It almost just happens. Well, it happens more regularly than you want it to. I'm not saying that that's what was going to happen with JT. He double crossed it and hit into the woods to the left, and that just ruined his tournament. He did almost make par, by the way, so it's not. It wasn't terrible. Let's put it that way. What I see from JT, his demeanor, the type of shots he's trying to hit, and the execution rate that he's hitting those shots. Listen, JT, ever since getting the advice from Tiger that he needs to get more shots in his game, worked at the Players Championship when he won it. Every tournament after that, it's just been downright awful. But what I kind of see is a more mature Justin Thomas, who isn't trying to hit 60-yard rope hooks. Instead, he's just trying to hit 15-yard draws. Because you don't need to rope hook a ball around hole 18 at the Players Championship like he did when he won it. You just have to hit a little draw. That's it. Just a little draw. I do like JT this week. And I do think his wedge game with his short game, he's got some of the best hands around the green. I think it just all works out really well. What I don't want to see Justin Thomas do is get on his tippy toes to try to blast a golf ball as far as he can. If you watch any event where he's doing that, he is missing by miles. By miles. There's one time it worked out for him, and that was at the PGA Championship at Southern Hills, where he drove the green on one of his playoff holes. That was it. That was it. I just want a controlled JT, someone who just stays in his lane, and when he does that, ooh, he's going to be deadly. Moving on, Matsuyama. We'll see what he does at the Valero Texas Open. This isn't very inspiring whatsoever. I will have some exposure to him, but not a lot. He did start out the year with a bang, with a win at the Century, and then kind of cooled off. But again, I want to see what he does at the Valero Texas Open, and I'm primarily really just watching him to see what his neck and his back are like. He has chronic neck and back pain or injuries. So I'm more interested to see that and just see how I'm sure he's going to be somewhat rusty. Like, it's almost a full month since he's played last. So we'll take a look. If I feel comfortable, like he doesn't seem to be in pain and everything is going good, the guy's short game is worldwide. What's the word I'm looking for? It's really, really good. And especially around Augusta. Yeah, absolutely. Sign me up. Brooks Koepka at $9,400. Yeah, you can sign me up to play Brooks Koepka. I just think he's going to be the biggest dog in the field, and all I mean by that is the guy's going to be there at the end. He's going to be fighting to get inside the top 10, and he just shows up to the majors. He's had good results at the Masters before. More famously, finishing runner-up to Tiger in 2019. But yeah, it looks like he's kind of rounding into form. Now, Liv does have an event this week, the same week that the Valero Texas Open is happening. So it might be interesting to see what he's going to do there. But yeah, I think Brooks is a good play this week as well. I have no issue. I really have nothing else to say about it. Joaquin Niemann, I think the famous thing to say is he hasn't finished better than 10th at any major championship, or he hasn't finished inside the top 10 at any major championship he's ever played. So who knows if he's just good at golf courses where you can just, crush it, I suppose. And by crushing, I just mean scoring really, really low. I'm not that interested. I'll play some just because of FOMO, but that's about it. I don't really care. Viktor Hovland's very interesting. Famously, he said he has no idea where his game is at the Valspar Championship, and then went on to win. I'm gonna say this is more of an outlier, and I'm gonna say this is more on average. I don't trust Viktor Hovland. I don't want to play Viktor Hovland. He has the pedigree to play really well. I mean, he has the raw talent to play really well. But I think if you're going to miss, now the Valspar Championship is a tough golf course. -11 was your winning score. Augusta is a tough golf course. And I do think there are golfers that play tough golf courses really well, and those that don't. Now, he also played the Players, which is a tough golf course. He missed the cut. Arnold Palmer, which only has like 80-some people or less in the field, he missed the cut. It was top 15 ties. And anybody inside within 10 shots of the leader after Friday's round, he missed the cut. I don't trust Viktor Hovland. I don't want to play Viktor Hovland. With that being said, I will have some exposure to him because of FOMO. It'll always be because of FOMO. And that means fear of missing out, of course. Fleetwood at $9,100, sure. Pencil him for a top 15 finish, and that's it. I don't think I'll make the proclamation he's not going to win the Masters. I don't like to make definitives, but the guy is a lovable loser. And this isn't much of a loser's, game log here, but to win an event at 91, by the way, this is a DFS show. At $9,100, he doesn't have to win. He doesn't have to win. I need him to finish top 10, and that's possible. It is possible. I just feel like he's just in this range here. Pencil him for an 11th to 16th place finish. This is good to see. Genesis Invitational at Torrey. That's a tough golf course. -8. He finished 5th. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. Tommy Fleetwood, again, I will play. Not much of him. Spieth, let's see what he does at Valero. He's all over the place. Augusta is very good, like course-wise. He loves Augusta. He's played well at it. We'll see. He's a wild card. Again, I'm not going to be afraid to play Jordan Spieth. Shane Lowry. Decent finishes. If you like Lowry, play him. If not, so be it. I don't really care that much about Shane Lowry, if I'm being quite honest with you. He's not playing the Valero Texas Open, so we're not going to see anything from him. And the last time we saw him was at Valspar, which I did like him at Valspar. He was one of my core plays. I don't think I'm going to get there, though. I don't know if I can get there. I'll have some exposure, but not a lot. Cantlay, sign me up. So actually, you know what? Even if he had a poor performance, if Cantlay has a poor performance at the Valero Texas Open, I'm okay with that. This was very impressive to me. Because honestly, when he was coming into the event, no one was talking about him. And I've never, I think it was last year? Well, it was the year after the FedEx Cup championship that he won. Remember, he won the BMW championship the week before, and then he won the Tour championship. He won the Tour championship and he won the FedEx Cup, which kind of goes hand in hand a lot. Well, yeah, obviously it does. It just felt like he was poised to play like really good golf that next season, and he just kind of crumbled. Don't know if it had anything to do with stuff going on in his life. He didn't really seem like he was injured at all. I don't know what happened to Patrick Cantlay, but watching him play, sometimes it's tough, obviously, with the toe tapping and all the stuff that he does, his little happy feet motion. I like this. I'm encouraged seeing all of this. Now, you might ask me, well, what's the difference between him and Shane Lowry? It's almost the same finishes. Or him and, who was the other guy that I was just talking about? Tommy Fleetwood. What's the difference? I've seen Cantlay get nuclear. That's the difference. And at Augusta, I mean, I think he was the third highest scoring golfer. I'm trying to remember what year it was, but it's because he was making eagles on all the par fives at Augusta. So I don't think I can rest my laurels on that, or rest, my confidence on that past performances at Augusta. But I just weirdly trust Cantlay, where I haven't been trusting him. Like last year, I didn't trust him at all. I didn't play him in any event. I mean, I shouldn't say any event. I just didn't anchor any of my lineups around Patrick Cantlay. This year at Augusta, I'm feeling real comfortable, and I'm anchoring him in all my lineups for the Valero Texas Open. Tyrrell Hatton, another live golfer. A lot of people are going to love him this week. I got no issue playing Hatton, but I'm not going to stretch to do it. $8,600. If I'm playing my Scottie lineups and my Rory lineups, he might be in 2% of each of those. If I'm building a balanced lineup, I think it's fine going with Hatton, but I'm not going to stretch to play him. I think a lot of people out there are going to, because you have Pat Mayo talking him up, or at least he has been throughout the year, and other people will be talking him up. I really don't care about Tyrrell Hatton, to be honest with you. Minwoo Lee is interesting. I did talk about Minwoo Lee when I was talking about Scottie Scheffler. This was an event where you could just blast the ball all over the place. Augusta kind of allows you to do that on some of the holes because the trees aren't very dense. They're not, like thick. There's not one tree next to another, next to another, next to another, where you don't have gaps to hit the ball out of. I'm going to say the same thing I said about Scheffler for Minwoo. And I don't even trust Minwoo's short game as much as I do Scottie Scheffler's. I don't even know why I said it that way. I just don't. I don't think Minwoo's short game is better than Scottie Scheffler's. So if you're hitting it into the trees, which I expect Minwoo to be doing, because he was not flawless at the Texas Children's Open or Houston Open, I'm not comfortable playing him either. At $8,500, like, so be it. It's a fair price tag. Don't get me wrong. He's got a lot of talent. He's a young kid. Australians tend to do well at Augusta for no reason, really. I'm not even saying that as like you should play Australians just because Adam Scott has played well here so many years, and so did Jason Day. Their golf games are more suited for Augusta than Minwoo Lee's is. Like, Minwoo Lee is not a grinded out type of golfer like Adam Scott and Jason Day. Those two guys are like, they almost, I wouldn't even say they built their games around Augusta, but their type of game is better at Augusta than Minwoo Lee's game is. I don't see it. I don't see it with Minwoo Lee. Like, he is explosive. He is dangerous. He can shoot nuclear rounds of golf like he did at the Texas Children's Houston Open. You can't do that at Augusta unless the conditions are really soft. So I do like the fact he hits a draw. His preferred shot shape is a draw. I do like that for Minwoo Lee. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Minwoo. Russell Henley coming in with super good form, recent form. 30th at the Players, but could have been better. I think he was actually in the GPP winning lineup, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong, but I think he was. Did win the API, which is very impressive. These are two hard golf courses. The Cognizant Classic, that tournament is played at PGA National, and then the Bay Hill Club and Golf, or Golf and Club, whatever it's called. That's another tough golf course. And he finished really well at both of those. So I have no issue playing Russell Henley at 8,400. I'm also just not stretching to play Russell Henley. Doesn't really have the shot shape for Augusta, and that's whatever. It's fine. Will Zalatoris, he's a big question He looked like he was going to win the Players Championship until he got an 8 on a par 4. All because he was trying to He-Man. He was trying to do the heroic shot and ended up getting stung pretty bad. I will be going back to Will Zalatoris. I have no issue playing Will Zalatoris. I think his game is good for Augusta. No issues. Cam Smith, why not? A guy who loves Augusta, known for his short game. We just gotta, so at $8,200, you have to remember this guy is probably the most erratic. I've been talking about other golfers that are very erratic off the tee. This guy takes the cake. He's by far the most erratic I shouldn't say in the field, but of higher or upper echelon golfers, he's the most erratic driver of the golf ball. So for that reason, probably don't trust him as much. Bhatia is going to be the darling this week, and I got no issues with it. 3rd at the Players. Mexico Open doesn't really matter to me, but a 9th at the Genesis when it was at Torrey, that's pretty good. This is concerning. This is what could happen to Bhatia. He's young. He takes bold shots. If he can be more controlled and, lick his wounds when some of these shots, go awry, and he can kind of refocus and then hit another good shot or hit a good shot after, I think it's fine. I don't mind playing Akshay. I'm not going to do the whole lefty narrative thing. I think that's stupid, but I shouldn't even say that's stupid. A big reason why lefties are good at Augusta is you got a lot of dogleg lefts, and lefties, when they're setting up, the dogleg goes this way. And so you can see where the target is. Whereas if you're a righty and you're turning like this, your target is over there. So your back is to the target, and it gets uncomfortable because you have to shape a shot or just deal with the fact that you're trying to hit the ball to the left, which a lot of people are not comfortable doing. So yeah, with that type of narrative, that's fine. Lefties, it's good. Another lefty is Robert MacIntyre. I'm not stretching to play him either. He has some good finishes here, and that's great. Again, I'm not trying to push to play Robert MacIntyre. Corey Connors at $7,900, pretty good price tag. I'll always remember when Corey Connors was 69 or 6,800, maybe even 6,700, and he was 20% owned. He was in the optimal lineup. So that week, I just knew Corey Connors was the most mispriced golfer in the event, and so did everyone else. Obviously, that's why he was owned in 20% of lineups. It was because he was a good fit for Augusta, and he had good form heading into Augusta, and he paid off his price tag at $7,900. I think the same thing kind of applies. I think he's going to be very popular, and I got no issue with it. The only thing that I will say about Corey Connors is if he shows up at the Valero Texas Open and it just looks terrible, like I don't even know what that's going to look like with Corey Connors because he's so consistent. But we all know he's got putting issues. Like most of your ball strikers will have putting issues because, well, they have shorter putts than most people do. And when you don't see the ball fall in the hole, it wears on you over time. I think that's fine for Corey. Give me a golfer who has more birdie looks than anyone else and still comes away with par at Augusta, especially in the 7K range. Yeah, sign me up. I got no issue with Corey Connors. Finau, we shall see. I'm going to see what he does at the Valero Texas Open. I was really into him here at the Houston Open. I thought he was going to do really well. And he had a couple, he had one mind fart. Like he just blanked out on a hole. 4-putted from 3 feet away, I think it was. Or he 3-putted from 3 feet away, that's for sure, because he missed a tap in. But yeah, that's concerning. So probably not going to go there with Tony. Well, listen, me saying that really has no relevance to how he's going to play at the Masters. I guess it's more of a mindset issue. I'm sure he's going to lock it in for the Masters. I've watched enough Tony Finau golf that I don't trust him. I mean, he had a chance to win the Masters when Tiger won it in 2019. And what I mean by that is heading into the back nine, he had a really good shot. He put in the water on 12. I think he did birdie 13. So he was still right up there and then just sputtered out. That's what I expect from Tony Finau most of the time. Someone who has all this potential that sputters out. $7,800 though, it's not terrible. That type of price tag for any of these golfers is fair. Like Wyndham Clark, perfect price tag for Wyndham Clark. Another golfer who has all the raw potential in the world to shoot really, really, really low rounds of golf. Not really low rounds of golf. Let's just say it this way. All of the raw talent to win a major championship. That applies for Wyndham. That applies for Finau. That's going to... this is a stretch to say for Theegala because I don't think he's quite there yet. But you would like to think Theegala has that type of raw talent. I guess it's just those two guys, Finau and Clark. Because I wouldn't put that with Connors. I wouldn't put that with MacIntyre. I wouldn't put that with Bhatia or Smith or Willie Z before he had his injury, I think. Or before he even had a surgery, I should say. I think he probably was trending to that level. But yeah, anyways. I don't mind Wyndham Clark. I don't mind a Tony Finau just for a wild card, I guess, to put in your lineup. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like they fit a need in your lineup. I'm trying to say they fit a need. They have raw talent that can get your lineups over the finish line. Just because of their raw talent, basically. Just to brush up on Theegala, the guy has always been erratic, and he had the magic beans for a very long time where he could get out of trouble, hit some miraculous shots, and then just like stick it close on some of the other holes that he didn't hit errant shots and make birdies. I just don't see that type of Sahith Theegala anymore. Not this year, at least. So I can't get there with Sahith. Even at 7,700, no thank you. Jason Day, man, talk about a guy that has disappointed me more times than I can count. He did win me a GPP, I believe at the Valero Texas Open that he won. I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I had him in like 2% of my lineups, and one of the lineups just had the perfect 6 golfers together, or 5 golfers with him in it. And he won and took down the quarter arcade for me. So I think I won a whopping $300 from it. But still, 25 cents to win 300, pretty darn good. I just don't like J Days. You want to play him because he's a grinded out type of golfer. And when you expect him to grind out at a golf course like Augusta, or even the Houston Open should have been a grind out type of golf course. And you saw, like with this score, 9 under, I don't think that really changes much throughout the week. Like it became easier because it was wet and it became a scoring fest. And that's why he did not play well, or his finish wasn't good. This is good though. This is what I want to see for the Masters. Arnold Palmer, that's good. That's what I want to see from him at something like the Arnold Palmer. I don't like this. That's gross. And that's the same thing here. They're big boy golf courses. I don't know why he was playing so poorly at those golf courses. So I don't know. I guess if I was to tell you how comfortable I'm with J Day, I'd set my exposures to like 11% at most. No, I wouldn't want him that much. I'd want him at 1 every 8 lineups. So 1 every 8 lineups is 12%. Now let's switch it around. I want him in 1 to 12 line. 1 out of every 12 lineups. So that would be 8%. That's where I would want J Day. Straka, guys, they say he's one of the best drivers on tour. One of the best golfers off the tee, regardless of what the stats say. And when you watch him swing a driver, it feels that way too. Iron game, sure. I don't have an issue with it. He's probably one of the better putters on tour. So really just comes down to managing his misses. And there's still a level of, he just doesn't seem like a very calculated golfer when he's out there. Like it almost just looks like he just points and shoots. And obviously when he's on, he's really good. And when he's not, well, he has these middling finishes. The 28th doesn't concern me that much. Like this is good. 14th, 5th, 11th, that's really good. Obviously, these are what I want to see for my Masters golfers. Like I want them to play really hard golf courses well. And that's what he did at the Players, the API, and the Cognizant. So I guess now that I say that, I'm sure he'll probably be pretty popular, but I will stretch to play Straka. So you know how when I was building those Scheffler lineups and I could only get to 7,400? Well, now that I kind of see this and I'm talking about it, I kind of want to get to Straka. Tom Kim. I have nicknamed him Small Hands Tom Kim. And that goes back to last year when Byron Lindeque, back 9 bets, talked about his love for Tom Kim. Well, it wasn't his love, but I could see the mental decline from Tom Kim that year. You could just see there was something wrong mentally with him. Confidence was shaken. Whereas other people loved him like Byron did. It's like, nah, that guy, he don't have the stones right now. That's why I called him Small Hands Tom Kim. I think we're still there. I haven't really seen him turn the corner. This is all just bad. For the type of caliber golfer we thought Tom Kim was going to be, this is just whatever. I mean, he's still, 22 years old, so he's got a long time to figure it out. Not at Augusta. I think the guy has a weak mental game, and I think you need a much stronger mental game than Tom Kim does at Augusta. So for that reason, I'm out. DJ, probably out. I mean, he's looked like the worst golfer on LIV for a really long time until he played Singapore, and then it was fine. We'll see what he does at the Blue Monster, which is down in Florida. It's Doral. So we'll see what he does there. If he finishes top 5, I will play some DJ. I got no issue with that. Sammy Burns, Sammy Biscuits. This is concerning. This is sort of concerning. I don't know. I guess I have more. I will be playing Sam Burns at the Valero Texas Open. My favorite combo is going to be Patrick Cantlay with Sam Burns. We'll see if it pays off. If it doesn't pay off, I'm probably going to have a bad taste in my mouth heading into the Masters. I probably don't want to play that much Sam Burns. If I see like some good shots, but he's just kind of aloof out there, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay playing Burns even if he doesn't make the cut. If he's out there and he's grinding and they're still bad, get me away. I do not want to play Sam Burns. No, thank you. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about Sam Burns. Matty Fitzpatrick, we'll see what he does at the Valero Texas Open. I don't like any of this. I also think this guy's game, it's not that he's mentally impaired like I would say Tom Kim and Max Homa are, but I don't know, man. It's like he won his US Open at Brookline, or not Brookline. Was it Brookline? I know it was the Country Club. I just don't remember exactly where it was located. Anyways, he won there, and he won a collegiate national championship there, an NCAA championship. So obviously he plays courses I shouldn't even say obviously, but that would indicate he plays certain golf courses well and others not. Now, I couldn't tell you just by looking at his game log what he does well and what he doesn't, but watching him golf over the last 2 months, not good. He's not a trustworthy golfer to put on your lineups. I'll just say that much. Patrick Reed, I kind of brushed up on him. I got no issue playing Patrick Reed. He's a dog. He's going to play well at Augusta whenever he plays Augusta. I don't know if that means he's going to finish, you know, somewhere between 30th to 40th place. That's not going to win you a GPP, by the way. But I kind of have a hunch that he's going to finish inside the top 20 at the Masters. And again, that might not be good enough, but I think the upside's there. Sungjae Im, been struggling this whole season. He's been struggling since the one season he played 30-some events, where I can't remember. He bought a house in Atlanta. I forget what all that was all about. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I don't know. He just hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked good. Period. So when it comes to like weird golf swings, I think weird golf swings, and by the way, I do not include Scottie Scheffler in weird golf swings. Scottie Scheffler has a really good golf swing minus the whole footwork thing. Sungjae Im, like Mark Ilmerman noticed this a couple years ago watching PGA Tour live. I'd been saying it for forever. The guy seems to reach for his golf ball. You know, he does his weird little setup, bends his knees before he hits, and I feel like that's how he gets closer to the golf balls. He has to sit down further. He's so far away from the golf ball that it just feels like he can't be consistent being that far away from the golf ball. And I know that's just me speculating. I have an eye for golf swings. I do not like Sungjae Im's golf swing. And if you're just off a little bit at Augusta, it's going to penalize you. So $7,300 seems like a slap in the face, but I actually think he deserves that price tag. These are some terrible finishes. Awful. And it's not like, oh, he was doing good until a bad break happened. It was like he scraped it by. I mean, 68, 69, 69, almost all sub 70s. Now it's a par 70 at the Texas Children's Houston Open. Actually, the cut was 3 under. He barely made the cut. He made it on the number. Players Champions 76 to 66. That's really good. But then 76, 76. That's not. So yeah, he must be struggling with something. I don't care about his price tag. I'm not rushing to play Sungjae Im. Justin Rose is a good veteran to put on your team. Usually veterans come to Augusta ready to play. They know their way around the golf course. He's had very good success at Augusta. I got no issue playing Justin Rose. These guys here, I'm just going to go by really fast. Adam Scott, sign me up. Another veteran. I mean, exposure level for me is going to be like 11% max. Like, I'm not going to play him in more than 11% of my lineups. And I know I didn't mention this earlier. For me with Adam Scott, or just, I shouldn't even say that. When it comes to building lineups, I'm probably going to, for the Masters, I'll probably build 300 lineups. And I kid you not, they'll all be unique lineups. They're not going to be the same lineup. I'll probably build somewhere, I mean, it's going to definitely be between 150 to 300 lineups. And so when I say 11% is going to be my max exposure, that's what that goes by. That could be anywhere from 11 lineups to say 30 lineups. It really depends on how many lineups I build. It's probably going to range somewhere in the, out of 100 lineups, it's going to be somewhere between 8 to 12, basically. Maverick McNealy, I want to see what he does at the Valero Texas Open. I was a big fan of him right down here. Going, obviously, his dad lives on the property of Pebble Beach, so we all thought he was going to do well there, but I actually really liked him here, and I had no issue playing him there. I didn't really put him in any good lineups, but I did like Maverick McNealy. I also liked him here at the API, and I also liked him here. Obviously missed the cut both times. Can't even remember what I did. Did I play him at the Houston Open? I might have. Anyways, I think that's fine. Berger, I will be playing Berger regardless of how he plays at the Valero Texas Open. All of this right here is super good. So sign me up. Sergio, he also has some pretty decent finishes heading into the, on live, I should say, heading into the Masters. Another veteran, a past Masters champion. I got no issue playing Sergio Garcia. Davey Boy Thompson. At $7,000, he's going to be able to fit a lot of your lineups. So I'm going to put my max exposure at like 8% for this guy. I don't want him in more than 1 out of 12 lineups. I just don't trust his game enough at a place like Augusta. This is encouraging right here, but I just don't care. Cam Young, no thank you. This is all bad. He also has one of those weird golf swings that it's hard to reproduce every single time. Don't trust him. Keegan seems like a really good fit for Augusta. Really no major holes in his game. He just needs to make more putts. He makes more putts, he's going to be up there inside the top 10 at the Masters. Very good ball striking. He hits the shot shape we want. He hits a draw at Augusta. It's not necessary, but he also hits a very tall, towering draw. He hits the ball really high, which is really good at Augusta to land the ball, somewhat softly. Same goes with like Jason Day. That's why they've all had pretty good success here. Thomas Dietrich is quietly turning into an all-around good golfer. There were some shots that I watched him hit at the Texas Children's Houston Open. Even the broadcast was talking about, like, he was hitting these sawed-off wedge shots. Even like, I think he hit a 7-iron, like a 3/4 7-iron into a green. It didn't even get higher than 20. Well, it did get higher than 20 feet, but it was a low penetrating shot. Found the green, no issues. It's like, okay, all right, man. That's pretty good. Thomas Dietrich, more than just a bomber, more than just a Belgium bomber. So I got no issues there. Short game, who knows? I don't really care. We're now in the 6K range. That's fine. Billy Horschel. I got no issue playing Billy Horschel. I think he's going to excel at Augusta. Go ahead, load him up. The Højgaard brothers, Nikolai here. Don't really care. Nikolai and Rasmus, one's 6,900, or one's 6,900, the other one's 6,700. I'm not reaching out to play any of those guys. Like, they're a 6K golfer, and I'll continue to say this in this range. Never fall in love with the 6K golfer. Just don't do it. Do not do it. Unless it's Corey Connors, who seems to be a really good fit at Augusta. Then you do, but no one else. Like, don't fall in love with the 6K golfer, but also don't disrespect one. So I'm telling you, I don't really care about the Højgaard brothers. I'll have them in like 2-3% of my lineups. Same will go for JJ Spawn. I don't think this is a really good golf course for him. Despite having a second place finish at the Players, he's one of those guys that I think has a terrible mental game. So like this, or I should say this followed by that makes sense to me. That's the type of golfer I think JJ Spawn is. Aaron Rai is a golfer that we'd call a grinded out golfer. He's always in it. This obviously is not a great sign, but who knows? Maybe it's fatigue. It doesn't look like it's fatigue. Maybe it's just a bad fit. I don't know. I shouldn't even say that. It should have been a good fit. So yeah, that's not good. I don't remember what the cut was, but he probably missed it by 1 or 2, and that was it. This is good. This is good. And I don't care about Mexico Open, honestly. But the other 2 events I think are good. So at $6,800, yeah, he'll be in my lineups, and actually will boost his exposure. Most of the 6K range for me, by the way, will never see more than 6% ownership in any of my lineups. Again, it's because I say I do not trust the 6K range. Never fall in love with one, never disrespect one. So I'll have exposure to most of these guys only because I'm not going to disrespect them, but I'm not going to fall in love with anybody. And certainly not Ryan Harmon. One of my least liked golfers on tour. It's hard to even push the button to put him in a lineup. But again, don't disrespect one. Benny Ann, I like the idea of putting Benny Ann in my lineups. I think he's going to have a good major championship. I want to say season, but I think he's going to disappoint us at one of the events. But I think he's going to get a top 10 somewhere this year. I think his game's good enough to do that. We already brought up Rasmus. Michael Kim has an out next to his name, but that's because he's not playing at the Valero Texas Open. He withdrew from that. So this is just a carryover. It's just how DraftKings does it. I don't mind Michael Kim. He hits the, you know what? Everyone else is going to be on Michael Kim. People forget he doesn't hit the ball very straight. He doesn't hit the fairway as much as you'd like him to. And I think that's going to cause an issue at Augusta. Yeah. I think when all you guys are going to be on Michael Kim, I'm going to be off. But again, exposure will be set at like 3%, 2-3%. Pendrith, same thing. Seems like a good play, right? Because he just finished pretty decent at Houston Open. Don't really care. I don't really care. Phil, don't care. Yeah, I really don't care either. Cammy Boy Davis. Yeah, whatever. Cantor, don't care. Max Grazerman. He's decent. This is problematic. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably setting my exposure at 3% with him. Glover, I'll probably set my exposure to like 5%. I do like Glover. I think I like listening to the Lucas Glover podcast on PGA Tour Live, or not PGA Tour Live, PGA Tour Radio. He's very knowledgeable. Got a good head on his shoulders. I kind of like him. Seabez. Yeah, probably not. I mean, again, 2% at most. Homa, I will put at 0.1% exposure. I've never been a fan of Max Homa. I thought his golf swing was extremely robotic, rigid. He knows how to get the club in the spots he needs to get the club in. But it's just like the athleticism does not shine through his golf swing. Sure, he sets up nice. He looks good. Like I said, he gets to all the positions that he needs to get to. But you pair up the fact that, I don't know, to me, he just doesn't look athletic, looks robotic, and he's got one of the worst mental games on tour. So remember when he was down and out all those years ago, couldn't make a cut, yada, yada, yada. And then he goes on that pretty good success, that string of success. I think he won the Fortinet twice, 2 years in a row. It's like that little gap where he was running hot. And what, he won the Farmers too? Or he was close to winning one of the two. I don't know, man. I think he'll probably turn it around, but I also believe that might have just been his time to shine. And now he'll just be a middle of the pack golfer. Like a Martin Laird. I know that's a weird thing to say, but Party Marty, I feel like, because like Martin Laird won on tour several times. Several, could be 2 times. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think he's won like 3 times on tour. Almost the same as Max Homa. I just don't have that much trust in Max Homa. He might be like a bros bro, but I don't really care about bros, to be quite honest with you. And I don't really care about Max Homa. Nick Dunlap. The joke is he can't hit the ball straight. And you saw that here. You saw that here. And I don't know what the hell happened here. He missed the cut by 1. 8 birdies, 5 birdies, 5 birdies. That's not good. That's not good at all. 10 bogeys. Players. The Players is a thinking man's golf course. So too is Augusta. I do not like, I just don't like it. Again, I'll have some exposure. Don't like it. The Harris English. Sure. I got nothing to say about him. Denny McCarthy. I like Denny McCarthy. I think he, like this right here, is what I would expect his best performance at Augusta to be. Like, he has, I think, the opportunity to finish inside the top 10, but Scottie's probability to win the Masters is going to be the same as Denny's probability to finish inside the top 10. Still going to be high, but it's not a for certain. I'll put it that way. Maybe I should change that to the top 20. Yeah, I would say top 20. I think Scottie has the same probability to win as Denny has to finish inside the top 20. But that's not me saying I don't like Denny McCarthy. I do like Denny McCarthy. JT Poston, don't really care. Echeverria, ooh. Right here, he says, I want to be the best golfer in the world. Or no, it was down here, wasn't it? Yeah, it was down here. He goes Zozo first. Worldwide 6th. Not so good here. And then after the RSM, he's like, I feel like I can be one of the best golfers in the world. And then the big dogs come out to eat. He gets 32nd. He lost to Hideki at the Sony. One of the easier courses, or one of the easier tournaments. Shot a 73 on Saturday. Jeez. I mean, 76 or 6 under. I think the cut was what, 9 under? 8, I think it was 9. 8 or 9 under. But then it's just been kind of blah ever since. But I still like his talent. And I like that attitude. So listen, that attitude will make him suffer or it'll make him shine. One of the two things. I skipped over Nick Taylor on accident. I don't mind Nick Taylor. I'll set him at like a 2 or 3% exposure and that's it. Eckroat, probably a hard pass for me. I think he's just resting on the laurels from his victory 2 years ago. I just don't think he's a super good golfer right now. Tom Hoagie, he's all over the place, but I kind of like this right here is really good to see. I think he's formed. We'll see what he does at Valero, but I do like Tom Hoagie. Davis Riley, his game is quietly coming into form. He had been struggling all of last year, and that was after he had 2 victories. One was the Charles Schwab from 2 years ago, and then also was the Zurich Classic, the team event with the guy from Illinois, or the University of Illinois. What's his name? Can't think of it off the top of my head. Anyways, I don't mind him. I kind of like Davis Riley. Matthew Pavon, he also has kind of been turning it around too. Can't remember what tournament he was up to like 2nd place. I think it was the Genesis, maybe. One of these events, he was up to 2nd place. Obviously a bad finish coming in, but you could do worse. You could do worse. Vegas, that's going to be a hard pass for me. I don't remember what tournament it was. Maybe it was Cognizant. I was kind of really digging him there. Because, I mean, 4th this century, that's a good finish in that field. And obviously, you're going to have some speed bumps or whatever. But I really liked him somewhere in here. I can't remember where it was. Maybe not the Houston Open. I really tried not to play him at the Houston Open. Because, like, this was all very just frustrating. So, anyways, don't care for him. Steven Yeager, sure. Very aggressive, so you gotta be careful with that. Highsmith, I do like. He won the Cognizant. I think you need to be a winner of a tournament to win the Masters. You know, I can't remember if it's a previous year or if it's the current year or whatever it is. But there's a trend that golfers do well who have won that calendar year. So there's one guy. Matt McCarty, probably not. I did like him at the Houston Open. Big greens, could spray it all over the place. He just didn't make that. He didn't turn that into anything. So probably hard pass for me on him. Kevin Yu, don't really care for. Good finishes at the Houston Open and Valspar, though. Maybe it's worth another consideration. Actually, you know what? Sure. Sign me up. Shank, I kind of want to see what he does at Valero. This is pretty bad. There is somebody in the community who is friends with his aunt, and he'd been giving me updates. He had a baby, or his wife had a baby somewhere in this range, somewhere in there. So who knows? Who knows if he just feels guilty being away from his wife? I had no idea. Tristan Lawrence, no thank you. Charles Schwartzel, no thank you. Patton Kazire, we'll see what he does at Valero, but just right now, no thank you. Danny Willett, I will speculate on Danny Willett. I got no issue playing him. He misses the cut by 1. Shoots 2 under par rounds of golf. Pretty consistent. I don't hate it. Brian Campbell. Probably not. Yeah, wins the Mexico Open, but nothing since. Yeah, no thanks. And then we're kind of coming into the range of old veterans that have won a Masters tournament before, like Zach Johnson, Bubba Watson. Then we also have these rookies. I imagine this is a rookie. I don't know. You have all these qualifiers too. You have the Mid-Am qualifier. You have the I mean, you have all the amateur championships. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I think you're going to have like 4 of those in here. And then you're also going to have like the Latino America champion. There's a couple other ones. I just can't remember off the top of my head. One of them's from Asia too. So one of the best Asian players will all be in here. I'm going to fade all of them. Rafael Campos is none of those. He's not an old veteran that's won the Masters. He just won the Butterfield Bermuda. And ever since, been pretty awful. I don't trust him. And that kind of is going to wrap up every other golfer. Like I said, there are some guys I just do not care to play. Because, I mean, like, your lineups are going to die with Vijay Singh in them. They're going to die with Angel Cabrera in them. Fred Couples, Mike Weir, Olazabal. They're just going to die. You don't want to play these guys. Don't get cute. Just ignore them. Ignore them. And then some of these other guys, I don't know. I have no idea who Hiroshi Tai is. No idea. Kind of at that point, it's up to you guys. So this ran a little longer than I wanted it to, but that's fine. A reminder, Masters giveaway is upon us. Win the pot. Every new subscriber, I add $2 to it. It starts at $20. And if you want an entry into it, comment. Well, comment on this video. Comment on the video that I'm going to do tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, and the day after that, and then come into the live stream Tuesday and then see if your name gets called. And we'll see how much we can get this up to. The 1 doesn't really look like a 1, but that's 1 new subscriber equals $2 added. So yeah, let's get as many subscribers as we can this week, and let's get that pot all the way up to as much money as we can possibly get. Again, there's no limit to it. No limit. So there's that. And then that just kind of goes into the sweetspotdfs.com giveaway. I didn't showcase the website. I will in the upcoming videos that you're going to see. Just create an account on sweetspotdfs.com. That's how you get an entry into it. That's it. You do not need a credit card, nothing. It's free. Free to sign up, free to enter. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm only running the giveaway once we get to 1,000 subscribers. So those are the 2 giveaways this week. Again, you're going to see a video every day from here on out, every day. And then I go live Tuesday night for all of you. And then Wednesday night, I go live for my YouTube members of the white tier and above. I'll say this right now too. Any of these videos that could get 25 likes on them, I'm going to give away 5 of those white tier memberships. So if we can get up to 25 likes on each of these videos, I'll give away 5 new memberships to the Sweet Spot DFS YouTube channel. That's all I have for you guys. So appreciate y'all watching. I will see you throughout the week. Bye.